Our lesson today is on divine alchemy. Now, you've probably heard of the ancient alchemists, and they transmuted lead into gold. This is basically the story about Rumpelstiltskin, who transmuted straw into gold. Now, the first alchemist, right, the founder of alchemy, was known as Hermes Trismegistus. He actually predated the Egyptian gods and the Greek gods. He later became known as the Egyptian god Thoth and then the Greek god Hermes. But he was not teaching about transmuting lead into gold. He was teaching about the transmutation of the mental forces. So transmuting like the mental consciousness of victimization into the consciousness of appreciation, or the consciousness of resentment into the consciousness of compassion. So simply put, he was teaching about how you change your thinking to change your life, right? Change your thinking to change your life. And this is basically the foundation of New Thought metaphysics. And we talk about this a lot here at Unity. But changing our thinking is not so easy. If changing our thinking were easy, we would have accomplished every single goal that we set out to achieve, right? Every single New Year's resolutions would have been accomplished. It would have been done, right? We would have just done it. Now, here's the thing. We can imagine one thing, right? We can imagine, oh, maybe that we want to eat healthier. We imagine that we want to eat healthier. And yet, at the end of the day, we're tired and we just go pick up a pizza or something. So we're imagining one thing, but we are doing another. And this is what I love. The Apostle Paul, he says this, and it's just such a powerful thing that he says. He said, I don't know why I do what I do. I don't do the thing I want to do, and I do the thing I don't want to do. That's what I do. Okay, and that's what a lot of us do. And so we do get this vision or this idea, right, that we want to see created in our lives. But see, if it stays in our imagination, nothing happens. Nothing changes in our life if it just stays in our imagination, right? Like, I want to eat healthy or I want to exercise every day. Okay, nothing changes in our life. And so here, right now, I want to talk about what it takes to practice alchemy, and then some of the little glitches we might experience along the way. Okay, so alchemy, it all starts in our consciousness. And our consciousness is basically our self-awareness, or our sense. It's our sense of awareness, who we think we are and what we think we're capable of. And it's all of our ideas, right? It's all the things we think that are influencing us. They influence our actions, whether they are true beliefs or not. Okay, whether these ideas are good for us or not, they all influence our actions. Now, Ernest Holmes said this. I'm going to read this to you. Prepare your mind to receive the best that life has to offer. We are all thinking, willing, knowing, conscious centers of life. We are surrounded by, immersed in, and there is flowing through us a creative something, call it what you will, okay? A creative something, call it what you will. So to practice divine alchemy, what we are doing is we're preparing our mind to receive, because if we don't prepare our mind, we'll keep doing what we're doing, which means we're going to keep getting what we're getting. So we have to prepare our mind. We have to transmute the mental vibration that is keeping us stuck, and instead we embody the consciousness so that we receive the very best that life has to offer. So the ancient alchemists, they knew a secret, and that it is we must change our consciousness first, or we don't change anything in our lives at all. And one of the best stories or the metaphors I have for this is lottery winners. The majority of lottery winners, within the first 5 years of winning millions of dollars, They've spent all that money, and so they're back to their set point. Their checking account, their savings account are back to where they were before they won the money. And so we have to change our consciousness first, right? We're changing our sense of awareness. We're changing who we think we are and what we think we're capable of, so that we don't keep getting what we have always been getting. So if we decide we want to embody well-being, we have to change our consciousness to a person, that person who just lives in well-being. I used to struggle with this because I thought that I could just change my diet and then get to my ideal weight, and then I could go back to eating however I wanted. But that doesn't work. That does not work. So for myself, that was a huge educational experience for me, because I was learning that if I really want to bring more well-being into my body, and I want to get into my right size body, I have to change my consciousness around food. I can't go on a diet. I have to just change the way I eat. I have a new way of eating, and it's sugar and flour free. And I don't get to indulge on the weekends. I have to live sugar and flour free. Okay, so it's a new shift in consciousness to maintain this new experience that I want to have. So we have to change our consciousness. We're not getting a new life. We're not getting something new in our life. We are becoming the person who has the expanded life that includes that thing that we desire. We're expanding our consciousness. So how do we start doing that? Okay, let's just get to it, right? How do we start doing that? Well, first of all, we want to recognize what keeps us from expanding our consciousness. And it's this: we resist life. Now, if we want to expand our consciousness, we have to stop resisting life and start accepting life where it is right here and now. Life is what it is. Now, when we accept the package of our life as it is right now, it doesn't mean that we have to tolerate bad things that are going on in our lives. But accepting the package of our life is like putting food on the table and then accepting the food that you just put on the table. Like, what is all that food? And you look at all the food that's on your table, and you can look at that food and you can decide, okay, this is what I can do with this food, right? And so when we accept the package of our life, we're just laying it all out there. This is what I've got to work with right now. Okay, that's what we're doing. This is what I've got to work with right now. Okay, for example, where I live in Southern California, summertime is hot. I live in a desert, right? There are hotter deserts around me, but I live between Palm Springs and Los Angeles. It's a desert, okay? It's a desert. During the summer months, it gets into the hundreds, and sometimes it gets muggy. I have to accept the weather for what it is. Now, when I resist the weather, when anybody resists the weather, it can sound like, I hate the summer times here. It's so hot. It's so awful. I can't do anything. I can't even go outside. Well, it is hot. This is true. But see, when we accept the weather for what it is, we can decide. We can actually become solution oriented, and we can look at the situation and ask ourselves, can I change it? Well, I can't change the weather, but I can change how I'm showing up, right? I can rise above this. So what can we do? If you don't like summer times here in Southern California, you can move. You could do that. That's an actual choice you could decide on. Or you could just decide, well, how else can I show up? For myself, I'm just not as busy in the summer times. I don't go out a lot, right? I stay in, or I go to the movies, or I go places that have great air conditioning. I read more books, right? I just take it easy. Okay, so we have to first accept the package of our life, so then we can start getting some understanding about what we can do next, right? We have to have an open mind to know, to receive that idea, what we can do next. Now, Wayne Dyer, he said this is a jewel I'm sure you've heard before. When you change the way you look at things, the things you look at change. Okay, so when we change the way that we look at things. We get new ideas. We get inspired to do different things. And we change our consciousness. That's what's happening. Now we change our consciousness, we start changing our stories, right? The stories we tell ourselves and about the world around us. Now in Unity, we have something, it's called, it's this process called denials and affirmations. And so denials, it's not about denying something. It's about denying that a something can have power over how you show up in your life. Okay, like it's really hot, it's 105 degrees and it's really muggy. Okay, so you deny though, like how I would say it was, well, yeah, but that doesn't get to dictate how I show up in my life. Sure, it's hot and it's miserable outside, but you know what? I'm going to do something nice that's cool. I'm going to stay indoors, or I'm going to go to the pool. Okay, so we deny that something we don't like has power over how we decide we're going to show up in our day. Okay, so when you go through the process of denials and affirmations, we start off by first of all stating the thing that we struggle with. Okay, so the whole process can look something like this. Well, there's this thing and I don't like it. I don't like this thing. You can insert your thing right there, right? Just this is my thing that I don't like, and you can put your thing there that you don't like. Okay, so this is the thing that I don't like, and it's not working out for me. It seems like things don't work out for me. This thing is just never working out for me. And so there we just state our struggle. So now we go into our denials. But really, like in Unity, I keep practicing the 5 principles, and God is all things, and that means me. And so, I know that, like, as long as I keep embodying faith, that I'm the one who decides how I show up in my day. And so when I say that this thing's not working out for me, but that doesn't get to dictate how I show up in my day. I'm the one that chooses. I'm the one. And so if God is all things and that means me, then that means that really things are working out for me. I mean, the universe does have my back. And the universe has my back, and even during conditions or situations that I don't like, the universe still has my back, and it's indicating through me, like, I don't like this. It means to change what I'm focusing on, to course correct, to change directions, instead to think about what is it that I do want, right? What is it that I do want? Because the universe always has my back. And so if everything is always working out for me, I could actually be thinking about, what are some other things I would like to work out for me, right? Maybe I would like to show up in my day just really confident and about what's working through me, for me, as me. I could show up with a confidence that I know who I am. I'm the expression of the divine, right? And I know what I am, that I demonstrate that. And I know how I serve by recognizing the divine in others, along with recognizing the divine in myself. And so I would love for that to work out for me, and everything always works out for me. So I could just keep picking out things. I could keep deciding on things. What else would I like to work out? Right? Do I want to have more clarity? Maybe I would love to have more clarity. And then that would be the next thing working out for me. Maybe I would love to be inspired with something I could get curious about. And this curiosity could take me down a whole new path of discovery. Maybe that would be fun. Maybe that would be exciting. Okay, so we go through the process, and it's a lot of talking out loud. That's how I do it. I always speak it out loud. It's just so powerful that way, I promise. Run through that a few times. Try it out on yourself. Start off, where are you struggling? What is it that's bothering you? And then how can you show up instead, right? How can God be working through you instead of all that? So we stop resisting life, and then we start getting new ideas, right? We start getting new ideas. So here's another gem from Dr. Wayne Dyer. Peace is the result of retraining your mind to process life as it is, rather than as you think it should be. Okay, so maybe life is not always perfect. Maybe life is not always how we would like it to be. But that doesn't mean we can't do anything about it, because clearly we can. Yeah, clearly we can. So this is divine alchemy right here. We stop resisting life. And then we change our stories, and then we do things differently. We just do things differently when we have more clarity about that power at work through us. We do things differently when we remember, oh yeah, God is all things, and that means me, and that means the inspiration I receive, and that means the ideas that I receive. And when we remember that God is all things, and so that everything is working out for us because we are created in the image and likeness of our Creator, and as our Creator creates in the universe, we create in our own lives. So yes, things are always working out for us. They're guiding us to expanding our territory. They're guiding us to doing greater things. And we recognize the need to pivot or course correct because we found something we don't like, and we're staring at something we don't like, and we're feeling, I don't like this thing. I don't like this thing. Okay, so we can do things about everything. There's always something that we can do, right? So if we're practicing divine alchemy, we're showing up in a bigger way, right? Because we will always do things differently than when we are in fear. We'll always do things differently when we are in faith instead. Okay, always. So I'm going to share some alchemical secrets with you, right? The secrets of the alchemist. And I'll also share this. None of these are secret, except too often we look at these simple statements and we think, oh, that's just too easy. Or, oh, that would be a nice magnet for my refrigerator, but is it really doing anything? Come on. Okay, no, that's why, they're considered secret. So we want to give them some weight. We want to give them the power they deserve. Okay, so here's the first one. Thoughts are things, no matter what you're thinking, right? Thoughts are things, because we're giving our attention to that. What we think about over and over again, we're giving our attention to, and what we give our attention to gives them power. Okay, so whether our thoughts are focused in being a victim and how the universe never has our back, right? Well, that will be true for us. Just the same as if our thoughts are focused on how we are an empowered soul walking around on this planet, right? Then that will be true for us in our experience. Okay, here's another secret. Faith brings synchronicities. Okay, when we are living and acting in faith, we'll notice the synchronicities around us, the synchronicities, the seemingly little coincidences, right? But synchronicities happen, and they confirm we're on the right path, or they tell us to course correct, or they are guiding us to try something a little bigger, right? That we were maybe excited about, and they're giving us a big yes. They're saying, yes, go for this. Now, synchronicity happens frequently, probably for everybody. But if we're not embodying faith, we're not going to trust the synchronicity. If we're not in faith and we're in fear instead, we might look at that synchronicity and think, oh, wishful thinking. I wish that was happening for me, but yeah, right. Not me. Okay? Third secret. Life is easier when you follow inspiration, right? We all get inspired. We don't all listen to inspiration all the time, though, do we? Okay? And when we get inspired, the inspiration brings along with it the means to make it so. And so in faith, we act on the direction that we're given. So inspiration is going to set us on a course of having to take action, right? To keep doing the next thing so that inspiration can become manifest in our lives. Now, if we receive inspiration and we don't act on it, we face closed doors. We miss opportunities. Okay, so we want to act on the inspiration, and then life is easier. We have more of a flow. We feel the support of the divine forces that are always around us and working through us. Okay, the next secret. What you seek, you'll find. Now, this is a quantum physics thing. Our brain, we have something called the reticular activating system. If you're seeking something continually through your thoughts, right? Like asking the question over and over again, why am I a victim? Why don't things ever work out for me? Well, your brain goes to work on that to prove you right and show you all the reasons why nothing ever works out for you. And so it will find things for you. Okay, so what you seek, you'll find. Then ask a different question, right? Instead, seek opportunities to get curious. Seek an opportunity to get more clarity. and your brain, because you've just given it a command, will start finding things to, of course, prove you right, but to show you, oh, okay, you want more clarity. Here you go. Here's ways to have more clarity. Here's ways to get more curious. So what you seek, you will find. Okay, the next secret, the time is always now to choose, right? If you want to live your life in freedom, the time is now. Okay, take action now. Follow inspiration now. Embody faith now. Stop putting off your good. Okay, it's not going to get any easier. If you keep putting off your good, it's not going to get any easier. Just go for it, right? Act in faith. Listen and act in faith. Okay, next secret. New perceptions give you the key to freedom. Okay, new perceptions give you the keys to freedom, right? Our prison, the prison of our thinking is always our perception, right? It's our perception. We perceive limitation, and so we believe in it and we act as if it's true, right? But see, any limitation or restriction that shows up in our life, it still cannot dictate how we decide to show up. We can still decide to show up in faith. So we change our perceptions. Okay, and that can look like, oh yeah, God is all things. Oh yeah, like God is all things, that means God's at work in everything, and a solution could come from a surprising place. A miracle could come from a surprising place. Okay, and then our last secret, and there are so many more, but our last one for today is God is all things. God is all things, everything that's ever been and everything that's yet to be. And because everything is source in expression, this means that the possibility for happy change is always everywhere present and always available to us, right? As we change in here in our consciousness, things in our life start changing, okay? We change here and things in our life start changing, okay? When we change our thoughts, we do things differently. We feel differently. We respond differently. Our perception changes. When our consciousness expands, we become a new person. That's it. We become a new person. Really, the only thing ever in our way is a belief that something could be in our way. Okay, God is bigger than anything that could ever be in our way. Okay, so here is our call to action for this week. We'll start with our affirmation. I am a divine alchemist. You want to say that with me? I am a divine alchemist. Now, of course, you can change that. You could say, I am a mystical magician. Okay, I am a powerful creative being, right? Whatever feels good to you. Now, the alchemist understands that we have to change our way of thinking first so we can change our consciousness. We stop resisting life. We accept the package of our life so that we know what we have to work with. Then we start getting different ideas, exciting ideas, inspiration, right? And so we do things differently, and we can do our denials and our affirmations, and we are telling ourselves a better story, okay? Now, you came here to this planet with the intent to call forth your soul into your life, right? To merge with the fullness of all that you really are. You came here to practice and showing up as a consistent light. And you are held in great appreciation by all the divine forces that are at work in you and through you and for you and as you. What you're doing, it takes a lot of effort and focus and commitment, right? And you're doing something that most people aren't doing because it's a lot of commitment and it's a lot of work, right? You're remembering who you are, what you are, and how you serve. You're remembering that you are the divine expression walking around in the physical body, and you're remembering that as you remember, like you demonstrate that in your life and you serve by seeing that spark of the divine, not just in yourself, but in everyone else, by seeing all of life as sacred and showing up as the sacred being that you are. This is what you are here to do, right? To see God in all things. You see it in yourself, you see it in everybody else around you, and you are willing to show up and you watch these videos, right? Or you come to our live services on Sunday and you grab those little bits of information that means something to you. You grab them and you take them in, and then you do something with them. And you act in faith, you live in faith, you listen and act when God speaks, and you are living a life then. So the divine is showing up in all of your choices, and it's demonstrating, and you are expanding your territory, you're expanding your consciousness, and you are making the world a more beautiful place. You're making the world a more beautiful place. And so here's our invitation for this week. Remembering that you are a divine alchemist, at some point, you are going to have to ask yourself, am I resisting life right now? Am I resisting? Am I resisting showing up as the powerful creator being I came here to be, and instead am I focused on blaming and complaining, right? Am I doing that? Or are you remembering, whoa, the power is within me. I'm the one that I call it forth. I call that power forth. What are you focusing on? Right? Are you focusing on more things you would like to experience? Or are you focusing on the things you don't like? Right? Because the divine alchemist does not focus on problems. The divine alchemist focuses on the possibilities. On the possibilities. Okay, so affirm with me. I am following inspiration. I am choosing now to show up as my big, bold, big S self right here and right now. Right? Seeking ways to light me up. I am looking for the ways to feel good, and I will find them. I am looking for more things to be curious about, and I will find them. I am looking for things to get excited about and enthusiastic about, and I will find them. I'm looking for ways to show up as my boldest, brightest self, and I will find them. Because that is how we are creating heaven on earth. So until next time, remember, you are divinely designed to be doing all of this. And everything you do, you are blessed, and so it is. We'll see you next time.